The Death of Elizabeth III of England, a multimedia analysis. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and leave a like on the video. Now let's start. The deadly secret behind a porcelain face. Her porcelain pale face hid a deadly secret. What seemed like beauty was poison, and what seemed like power was actually suffering. For decades, Elizabeth I ruled with a firm hand, defying the entire world. But behind the jewels, wigs, and makeup, there was a chilling truth. A truth that history preferred to keep silent. Today you will discover how Elizabeth I of England really died. It was not by betrayal, nor by war, but by something much more human, something that still destroys us today: the obsession with perfection. The rise of a lonely queen. Elizabeth was born on September 7, 1533, the daughter of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. Her childhood was marked by scandal and tragedy. Her mother was executed by order of the king when she was only 3 years old. From that time on, Elizabeth was excluded from the line of succession for many years. But upon the death of her half-sister, Mary I, Elizabeth ascended the throne in 1558, at the age of only 25. During his reign, England experienced an age of cultural, military, and commercial splendor. It was the time of William Shakespeare, the beginning of English naval supremacy, and the country's transformation into a world power. Obsession with beauty. What few knew is that Elizabeth was obsessed with her image. At a time when the feminine ideal was white, almost ghostly skin, the Queen adopted a dangerous and constant cosmetic routine. After contracting smallpox, she tried her best to hide the scars on her face. She used a mixture known as Venetian wax, made of vinegar and white lead, a highly toxic cosmetic that gave her the much-admired porcelain look, but at a high price. Lead penetrated the pores of the skin, devastating the body. In addition, Elizabeth used lipsticks with mercury-based pigments, such as carmine, another lethal substance that slowly entered the bloodstream. And to remove makeup, she used abrasive mixtures of crushed eggshells, strong vinegar, and even sulfur, an invisible poison. Symptoms of poisoning. As the years passed, Elizabeth began to suffer symptoms that we would immediately recognize today: memory loss, insomnia, mood swings, irritability, weakness, hair loss, and a progressive deterioration of the skin. By the mid-1590s, ladies of the court reported that the Queen refused to look in the mirror, wore wigs to cover her baldness, and, in official portraits, appeared artificially rejuvenated, a far cry from her true condition. Makeup was no longer a luxury, but a mask to hide the collapsing body. And although the doctors of the time were unaware of the toxicity of those products, the Queen's deterioration was evident. A broken heart. In addition to the poisons, Elizabeth carried the burden of a solitary life on her shoulders. She never married, she had no children. She refused the proposals of European kings and nobles, choosing to remain married only to her kingdom. She lost many people dear to her: her advisor William Cecil, and her beloved Robert Dudley, with whom, according to many, she had a more intimate relationship than the official story wants to admit. Over time, Elizabeth was left without confidants, without friends, without allies. Her solitude was also political. The weight of power and the image of an inflexible queen ended up breaking her. In her final weeks, there were whispers of her inability to govern, and in secret, preparations began for the succession. The last days visibly distressed, Elizabeth was almost nowhere to be seen. She spent hours standing, motionless, staring into space. She refused to sleep, to eat, even to speak to her advisors. She wouldn't allow her clothes to be changed, nor would she allow her makeup, which had now turned into a thick crust, to be removed. Some said she was deeply depressed, others that she feared she would die in her sleep. Some even spoke of a total nervous breakdown, a form of psychosis. For a whole week, Elizabeth remained standing, almost never resting, until she collapsed and was placed on a pillow on the floor. She refused to go to bed until her last breath. The silence of a sick queen. On March 24, 1603, Elizabeth I died in Richmond Palace. She was 69 years old. Officially, it was said to be natural causes, but the signs tell another truth: a slow, self-inflicted poisoning that lasted decades. Witnesses report a body with a grayish complexion, open sores on the face and wounds that did not heal. At the time of death, Elizabeth's face was ash white, her lips almost black, her gums swollen, her eyes dull. Yet, she never lost her dignity as a queen. She died without uttering a word, in total silence. No autopsy, many questions. Unlike other sovereigns, an official autopsy was never performed on Elizabeth's body. This has fueled all kinds of theories, some of them dark. The lack of reliable medical records makes it impossible to know exactly what killed her. But there is consensus on several symptoms: extreme mood swings, constant pain, skin lesions, extreme paleness, hallucinations, muscle weakness. All symptoms consistent with heavy metal poisoning. Lead, accumulating in the body, damages the central nervous system. Mercury affects the kidneys, brain, and mental stability. A symbolic death. Was it really just makeup that killed Elizabeth? Some historians also speculate undiagnosed cancer, a serious lung infection, or kidney failure caused by progressive poisoning. What is certain is that the Queen died without naming an official heir. Yet, the crown passed peacefully to James VI of Scotland, son of Mary Stuart, the Queen's ancient enemy. Thus was born the union of the crowns of England and Scotland, and the era of the Stuarts began. That's all for today. What do you think about Elizabeth's death before England? Let me know in the comments. If you want to support us, subscribe to the channel. See you next time. Bye.